What's up, everybody? I'm Bo from Brutal Commentary, and today I'll be breaking down our featured prelim for UFC Fight Night Macau. In this one, we have Luis Felipe Dias taking on Yi Sak Lee. I gotta say, this is a pretty fun matchup stylistically, albeit a bit odd in terms of pure matchmaking. So Lee is going to be making, well, again, it's another battle of two debutantes. In this case, for Lee, he's going to be making his UFC debut despite not really coming through Contender Series or even road to UFC. Meanwhile, you have Felipe Diaz, who is also making his UFC debut after winning on Contender Series roughly 6 months ago. So this feels very much like the UFC just trying to throw two aggressive regional guys together and just seeing what happens. That's my honest opinion of it, because both guys are fun. One of them won their contract fair and square and looked fun while doing it. The other one is making their debut. Again, I'm not sure why, but they are fun fighters. Their styles shouldn't mash well together for excitement. And like I said, I'm just assuming they're throwing two guys, seeing what happens, and possibly have a fun fight at the end of the day. That is honestly what I can think. Because looking at their styles, they're pretty similar. Both of them are aggressive, pressure-heavy fighters who want to move forward, force exchanges, and overwhelm opponents with offense. This is not going to be a slow technical chess match. I think both of these dudes are going to try and march forward and impose their will onto one another. That's what I think. So, and honestly, it seems that whoever starts backing up first is probably going to lose this fight. Now, breaking it down in terms of styles and technique, let's start with the striking. Both of them rely much more on aggression and power than finesse, both Diaz and Lee. Big punches, charging combinations, and trying to overwhelm opponents with sheer pace and pressure rather than clean technical setups. But the difference for me comes in the grappling and overall physicality, specifically that of Luis Felipe Dias. I think Diaz is a pretty solid grappler. That was one of the things that stood out to me on Contender Series while watching him. He showed good ability to get the fight to the ground, take the back, and control position once he gets there. Overall, the offensive wrestling and grappling of Diaz are pretty solid tools that he has in his game. The other thing is the physicality. Diaz is going to be the much stronger athlete to me. Bigger, more explosive, more physically imposing in the clinch and grappling exchanges. And while Lee absolutely fights with aggression, I don't think he's going to be able to match Diaz in terms of physicality if this starts turning into clinch battles or wrestling exchanges. Now, the biggest concern with both guys is honestly the same thing. It's their defense. Because both are so aggressive and offensive heavy, there are definitely moments where they leave openings. And when you've got two guys charging forward, throwing bombs, there's always a chance one of them gets clipped clean before the other. That's probably the biggest danger for Diaz here. But overall, I'm going to lean Luis Felipe Diaz. I think the added wrestling threat he has, the grappling advantage, and the overall physicality are going to make the biggest difference in a fight where both guys are trying to implement a similar game plan. The thing is, when you have two pressure fighters, usually it comes down to three things. One, who's the more technical of the two. Two, who's going to back off first, or who's going to concede ground. And three, who is the stronger of the two. That's really what it comes down to. Whether you're a cleaner striker than the other guy, whether you can impose your will first and make them concede, or three, like I said, just being the stronger of the two. And what Felipe Diaz is certainly the stronger of the two. I think he's going to be able to out-wrestle Yi Sak Lee. I think he's going to be able to, like I said, out-muscle him in the clinch. I think he's going to be able to take him down because I think Diaz's grappling is much more technical than striking. And I don't think Lee has the same level of technical grappling. Not to mention, because he's going to be out-muscled and out-physical in there, I think even if he has the proper defense, Luis Felipe Dias will still be able to control him at the end of the day. So for my official prediction, I'm going to go with Luis Felipe Dias, and I'm going to pick him via finish. I've been thinking about it. At first, I thought it was knockout because I think both guys, like I said, were going to land heavy bombs on each other. And I think due to Felipe's just physicality, throw the more powerful shots. But I started to reassess it, and I think he's actually going to get a submission. I'm leaning towards. Like I said, I think his grappling is the more technical part of his game, and seeing how these two fight so similarly, the fact that he has such technical grappling, I think is going to give him the edge and thus find the finish via submission. So once again, I'm picking Luis Felipe Dias, and I'm going to pick him via submission. But with that being said, that's been my breakdown of this matchup. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, leave a comment down below on who you think is going to win. But until then, I've been Bo from Brutal Commentary. I thank you all for listening. And remember, stay calm, stay respectful, and enjoy the violence. I'll see y'all next time.